Stop but then start. All right, let's go over the bell work. So for my angle right here, if I want to label this right triangle off that angle, side A here, is that the opposite, adjacent, or hypotenuse? Well, that's the next thing we're doing. But first, labels. This is opposite. What is C? Hypotenuse. B is our adjacent side. Okay, now let's do what you're talking about. If I want to find, let's say we want to find A first. If I want to find the opposite side, when the only side that I'm given is the hypotenuse, which trig function does opposite and hypotenuse? Sine, cosine, or tangent? Sine. Opposite and hypotenuse is sine. So we can write the sine of 36 degrees is equal to A over 10. To solve this for A is one step. I need to get rid of the divide by 10. So what do? Multiply. And then I'm just going to type that into the calculator. What is 10 times the sine of 36? Make sure it's in degree mode. 10 times sine 36 is 5.878. All right, now that you know what A is, to find B, you have two choices. I know two sides of the right triangle, so I can find the third by just doing the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Or I think it's actually probably easier to just do trig. I mean, we're already set up for it. If we want to do trig, this time I'm doing the adjacent side and the hypotenuse. And which trig function does adjacent and hypotenuse? Cosine, that's right. So then we do the cosine of 36 degrees equals adjacent over hypotenuse. And again, I'd solve it the same way. To get B by itself, I need to get rid of the divide by 10, so I'll multiply by 10. Calculator. 10 times cosine 36 degrees is 8.090. Oop. Yep. Questions on number one? All right, number two, if y is equal to 2x minus 5, what is the value of y when x is 3? Anybody have an idea of how I can do this? What do you think I should do with that? 3. Plug it in for x. So then y of 3 would be 2 times 3 minus 5. Or 6 minus 5. Or 1. So when x is 3, y is 1. Yay? So again, don't forget that the purpose of all this linear equation work is a linear equation gives you a tool that when you know one letter, you can find the other, right? Particularly when you know x, you can find y really quickly by just plugging in for x, multiply, and subtract. All right, any questions about the bell work, or does anybody need more time to write? Oh, howdy. Okay, then let's talk about today. So today we're gonna start 8.2. We'll finish 8.2 on Monday. There is no homework due Monday. Next homework will be due Tuesday next week. Keep in mind, though, the 8.1 was due yesterday. So if you haven't turned that in, today is your first grace period, and Monday will be your last grace period. So if you are a little behind and haven't done 8.1 yet, make sure you do that during seminar today or over the weekend. All right, today we're going to just do these two things. Determine if two lines are parallel and write an equation for parallel lines. Monday we'll do perpendicular. So first, our definition, two lines are parallel if they never intersect, which means that they have to have the same slope, the same rise over run. For example, line M and N here are parallel, which is indicated by these two vertical lines, because they have the same slope. They both have a slope of 0. So infinitely continuing on in either direction, they never get closer or further from each other. They are always stay equidistant, and they will never intersect. You can include the picture example if you would like, but you don't have to. I don't know what this is, but if you would like to include the dragon thing, worm, troll, maybe troll. I'm gonna go with troll. If you want to include the troll, that's fine. All right, anybody need more time to write? A little bit. I ordered canvas strips, which I'm pretty excited about, so I could start hanging some like really poorly done paintings on that side of the wall. Really spruce up the place. Have I talked about Bob Ross painting in here? I don't remember this ever. No? So if you haven't heard, Bob Ross is like this painter. He used to be on PBS, right? He would paint something with oil paintings, and you could follow along and paint it too, right? All of his episodes are now on YouTube, full length. So you can pull those up and watch them at whatever speed, pause them or whatever, and paint along with them. And I highly encourage it. It's a really fun activity. So my wife and I have been doing it, and we were just going to throw those paintings that we made up there. We don't have anywhere in the house for them. And I think it'll really tie the room together once those canvas strips come in. I'll throw Lincoln's up there too, which are real good. One is just all gray because he just mixed all the paints together until it was just one color. That was just gray. And then he painted this whole thing gray. Another, if you squint really closely and also get hit in the head with something really hard and heavy, so that you're kind of like dizzy and disoriented, kind of looks like a T-Rex. All right, it looks like we're done running. Is that everybody good? Okay. All right, let's do some examples. So for example, this is the most common question. There are, again, it's the hard part about this unit is there are so many different prompts that they can give you like on the ACT about parallel lines. And so this is the most common one. We'll talk about how to do this, and then I'll just show you as many prompts as I can. So for this one, we want to write a linear equation parallel to this one through this point. Again, you're going to have two options of how you want to write this linear equation. I'll solve it with both of them, and then you choose the method you like best. You can write your linear equation as y equals mx plus b, or y minus y1 equals mx minus x sub 1. You choose which one you want to use. That's what we're going to walk through. The first thing, though, is not different. The first thing you need to do for both of them is find the slope. So if our line is parallel to this one, then it has to have the same slope. So what is the slope of this line? 2/3. So then our line will have to have the same slope. So first step for both of them is the same. The second step is where we differ. To use slope intercept form, I need to know the value of y when x is 0. But I am not given x is 0, right? So to find b, I'm going to have to plug in 6 for x and 5 for y and solve it for b. So if we do that, I replace y with 5 equals 2/3 times 6 plus b. That would be what? 12 divided by 3 is 4. And then to get rid of the plus 4, we would subtract. So here 1 is b. And now that I know m and I know b, we can write our equation y equals 2/3 x plus 1. For the other method, if you're okay with writing your answer in point slope form, then this is x sub 1, this is y sub 1, and we're ready to plug in. The answer is y minus, my first y value is 5, equals 2/3 x minus, my first x value is 6. That problem is done. For me, for the quiz, test, homework, I accept either answer. If you come to rely on point slope form, don't forget I can convert this form to this one by simply distributing the 2/3 and then adding 5. If you do that, you'll get this answer. Okay. I want to see how we feel about this. If you prefer this first method, could you raise your hand? 3. If you prefer this method, raise your hand. That's about typical, straight down the middle for those who have an opinion between the two. All right. Anybody need more time to write? Okay, Then the rest of this class is going to be you practicing. So first, write a linear equation parallel to this one. For this one, you can go through any point. Doesn't matter. You get to pick your y-intercept. I want any linear equation that is parallel to this one. Give you 2 minutes. That's more than you need, but you get to appreciate some poor frame rates on some butterflies. That's actually not that bad of a frame rate right now. Oh, that was. Again, there are an infinite number of answers to this problem. It can go through any point. There's no constraint about that. All right. I'll give you a hint now that we're halfway through if you're still stuck. To do this problem, Mr. Lake. To do this problem, tell me what M is. And then if you like the first method, you'll tell me y equals that x plus, again, any number is fine. Or if you prefer the other method, you get to pick 2 favorite numbers. That's what your answer should look like. Either one of those 2 with the blanks filled in. I'll walk around, stuck, let me know. That looks good. What is our slope? No, yes, that part is your favorite. But what is it? There you go. Yeah, well, hold on. You're okay. You gotta start writing stuff. Okay. But I'm glad you did that, Felipe, because it illustrates a really good point. Okay, what does the slope have to be? It has to be the first number here, 4/7. So for either answer, this has to be 4/7. Okay. My instructions, I don't think were the best. I said this could be any number you want. It can be any number you want except for one number. It can't be -5. Because if it's -5, and this is a really good, interesting point, if you care about, like the finities of mathematics, then it's not a parallel line anymore, even though it has the same slope. Why? What happens if I put -5 here? It's the same as the other one, right? And then that means they do intersect. In fact, they're the same line. They intersect an infinite number of times, and parallel lines can't intersect. So no, it could be any number but -5. So what's your favorite number? 17. Perfect. Over here, same thing. Here, you can pick any 2 numbers except 0 and -5, because then it'll be the same line. So I don't know. We'll do my favorite numbers, 7 and 42. Yay. That's all you gotta do. 42 is the answer to everything, according to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. This is a really funny book. All right. Oh, sorry. Did anybody need more time to write? A little bit. Okay. So again, on the quiz or test, if it just says, or the homework, if it just says write a parallel equation, you get to pick your y-intercept. You can do any one you want. Here's what your more typical questions look like. This is like the example we did. Write a linear equation, but this one has to go through this point. So you no longer get to pick. You have to go through this point. So again, first thing you need to tell me is what's the slope of my line? And then if you're doing y equals mx plus b, you've got to plug in and solve. If you're doing point slope form, you just have to plug in. Give you 2 minutes, and then we'll go over it. Yeah. Correct. -6 is the answer. All right. So I think we already did the first part, but our slope, again, because it's parallel, has to be the same. So it has to be -6. If you want to use this method, we've got to plug in 2 for x and -7 for y to get this plus b. All right, to solve this for b is 2 steps. What do I do first? To solve this for b, what are is 2 steps, and then the first step is, yes, you're right, multiply these to get -12. And then one more step to solve this for b. Add 12. So then I believe that gives us 5, right? So then for this one, m is -6, b is 5. Our equation is y equals -6x plus 5. That line is parallel to the one we were given and goes through this point. Because this one is in slope intercept form. So we have to use the y-intercept as our number. And that's the value of x, or value of y when x is 0. And here, x is not 0. If you want to use these numbers, that's this form. We just plug these numbers in. So that's y minus -7 equals -6, x minus 2. Again, instead of y1, I put the number -7. Instead of x1, I put the number 2. And then the only thing that you have to do for this one to clean it up is, what is minus a negative really? Plus. It's the only thing I would do. Done. Again, either of those answers is okay. They are the same. If you distributed the -6 and subtracted 7 over, you will get -6x plus 5. Okay, the next two problems that we're going to do trip people up, but they really shouldn't. So I want to show you these. These are on the ACT and they're a slightly higher number than I think they should be. Does anybody need more time to write on this one? Okay. So far, we've been doing all of ours as linear equations of y equals mx b form. But can you write a linear equation through this point and parallel to the line x equals 5? Let me show it to you graphically, and that might help. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the line x equals 5. I need a line that's going to go through this point, -2, 19, that is parallel to this one. Draw what you think that line looks like, and then tell me what the equation is for that line. Okay, first thing I want you to do is actually draw this graph, draw this out, and draw the line through that point that's parallel to this one. And then after you do that, write what you think the equation of that line is. So hopefully you found that the line should look like this. What is the slope of that line? What is the slope of this line? That's okay if you don't know. That's all right. The slope of this line would have a rise of infinity and a run of 0, right? It never goes left or right. But you can't divide by 0. That's an undefined operation. So we say that the slope of this line is undefined. The slope of this line is also undefined then, right? It has to be a vertical line too. And how do we write the equation of a vertical line? Just x equals a number. For our problem, that number that x has to equal is -2. So long and short, if they give you a problem where they ask you to write a parallel line to a vertical line, you just write a x equals whatever number you have to go through. So again, I feel like these problems mess people up, but it's actually, I mean, mathematically, I should say, it's actually like what you do is super easy. You just copy the format of what they give you and replace it with the number they tell you to use, right? So instead of it being x equals 5, it's now x equals -2. Does that make sense? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Are you buying what I'm selling? Smelling what I'm cooking? Ethan, you smelling what I'm cooking over there? Okay. Okay. Let's see if you really are smelling what I'm cooking. Try, this is the last one we're going to do. Try this problem. I'm going to graph this one, but you don't need to now. I think you should have an idea of how we do this. This is the line y equals -3. It's a horizontal line. You need to tell me the equation of a line that goes through this point. Okay. Question. All of the Parana Amazon River. Can anyone tell me what number goes to the blank right here? What do you think, Kyler? 19. Hopefully you have a lot of salt water, Kyler, because those piranhas come quick. I've been needing to get rid of them actually for a while now. So this is helping me out a lot. But it's 19. Again, all you do is you match the format of their line. and just replace it with the appropriate number. The idea again being that the slope of this line has an infinite or has no rise, right? It doesn't go up and down at all. And it has an infinite run going left and right, but 0 divided by anything is 0. So our line will have to have a slope of 0 as well. It will have to be horizontal as well in order to be parallel, which means that it has to be written in the form of y equals a number, and the number we have to go through that y has to equal is 19. All right. So for the rest of the hour then, I'm going to give you like 6 minutes here to start on some homework problems, or if you would like to relax. This is not due Monday, it's due Tuesday. Okay. All right, how do you feel about your paper copy? Yeah. Now paper copy? No, no. No problem. Yeah. Okay. By the way, I appreciate everyone's participation and work and, paying attention while I'm talking up here. I know that's especially difficult on a Friday, so I really appreciate it. And for you remote people, I appreciate you sticking in here and listening to this right now. For those of you that are there, which is probably like 3 people. But you 3 people, keep it up. I can stop recording.